If the films tell us something that is truthful and engaging, whether it's engaging in a funny way or in a sad way, then audiences will connect. Audiences connect to the real experiences they see on the screen that they can relate to their own lives.
I think it's important that people have a wide variety of cinema to choose from. We're seeking primarily to entertain people and to let them see another side of an issue or a story, and that's what we're hopefully going to pull off with the films that we've made.
And it's important that that cinema, that manufacture of films, that distribution and exhibition of European, organic, truthful films continues, if you like, for the most part, alongside and in a way separate from that the big Hollywood blockbuster with which we cannot actually, in any real, literal sense, actually compete.
But also the European audience want an original film made by an original voice about a subject that they can be stimulated by, which is not necessarily a large budget action movie.
For me, it was the European films that I found attractive, not the American ones. It was the Eastern European cinema, or Italian, or French, or Spanish, or Scandinavian. They were all drew me in.
Well, I grew up in Blackburn, which is a small town which didn't really have any kind of independent cinema, but what it had was a film club in the town library.
I arrived in London as a student and discovered world cinema.
The first year I went there was a season of new German cinema, so it was the films of Wenders and Herzog, Fassbinder, people like that.
I mean, I grew up with subtitled movies. I grew up with the European cinema, and for me, it's really, really, really important.
1960, which is, as I say, when I arrived, was, you know, the very moment of the Nouvelle Vague, you know, so that was a massive inspiration and a massive influence in many ways.
Well, Artificial Eye stands for quality cinema from around the world. We buy films from all over the world, and a lot of these are European. It's very much auteur-driven. What media does do is act as a cushion, both in terms of buying the films, knowing that we can take the financial risk, and making and allowing us to perhaps spend more on our P&A and bring it to a wider audience.
One of the things that Europa cinemas do and the media programme support is developing younger audiences and spending quite a lot of money and time doing that. I think that that's so vital to bring up a new audience who want to see European film and who aren't put off by subtitles. I know when you do get young audiences in to see European films, they are blown away by them.
We do need a little bit of help in persuading the distributors and exhibitors to put films like Tomorrow Drew out there, and media has been invaluable in doing that, and I think we've achieved great results with that, and we got the audiences with the help of them, and everyone's been very pleased with the result.
A lot of films we made have been released in lots of countries and small releases, and eventually that adds up to kind of enough of audience to allow you to make the next film.
It's just meant we've been able to build our audience, and so we do have a strong European audience, definitely with the support of the media programme.
Because what we're trying to do, really, is we're trying to fight for space on the screens in Europe for where our films are really aimed at.
There's just not enough screens that are kind of outside the system that releases studio films, and it's really that area I think that you know that media's work is really kind of incredibly valuable in distribution and exhibition. Where you know without the cinemas, it doesn't matter what film you make, if there are no cinemas to show it in, you can't get a release.
Yes, you can see some of what comes out of Europe, but really it's very, very limited for the popular audience, and there is absolutely no reason why it should be, because the interesting thing is that certainly post-Almodovar, it is now in a way that you could never have conceived 20 years ago. It's now common enough for people to look at films with subtitles.
We have to be very brave in the UK showing European film. It's the most difficult territory out of all the countries in Europe, and so therefore the support that we get from Europa encourages all exhibition to perhaps take a few more risks with the kind of films they show, knowing that there's the support, encouragement and network to help us do that.
The media also helps international sales and international marketing. With Essential Killing, we helped the marketing of the film because the film was launched in Venice, which is a very expensive place to launch a movie. Media money helped us do it in a maybe more lavish way than we would have done otherwise. But that then gave the film an impact, and it also got a lot of prizes. So building on that, it's managed to get the film distribution in many, many countries.
It's the one advantage we have over our American counterparts. I mean, in terms of a film industry, you know, the Americans have the edge on us every time in terms of more money and more stars, and the economics just spread out better, the demographics of the population, everything they have going in their favour, distribution, except for one thing, that they find it much harder to get development money.
In the economy of my company, the money that I get from the media programme has really, really helped me. And it helps all the producers who get it, but it particularly helped me make a couple of films. In fact, I have a film that I've just made, Dangerous Method, with David Cronenberg, written by Christopher Hampton. Well, that received support from media, the first support it got, which really helped me with the money that we gave as well together, made it possible for me to make that film. It gives you a position of strength as an independent if you can develop it in the correct way and not let anybody take advantage of you. So the first building block is got a solid foundation.
And you know, a prime example of what I've just been talking about in terms of being able to keep the rights and align yourselves with the right partners at the right time would be something like The Other Blind Girl. With the help of media funds, we were able to acquire the option, we were able to co-fund the development with BBC Films, and when we had a fully developed script with a director on board, we were able to go out into the marketplace with a fully developed project and command our price. Because the script was so good, the project had become really hot. So we had bidders from, you know, Universal, from Sony, from Paramount, Scott Rudin wanting to come on board. You know, it was a hot project out there in the marketplace, and which would never have been possible without media.
Without development funds, there isn't the luxury of time.
A small amount of money at the beginning when you're developing the project allows you to go out, find financiers, develop the if you like, the treatment, the idea, so that people are clear about what they're getting.
We are making two films that we have been beneficiaries of the media fund. One of them is Byzantium, which is written by Maura Buffini, who is a very successful British writer, and is to be directed by Neil Jordan, who is a very successful Irish filmmaker. But that story has been going for 4 years now.
It's a French-produced film with German backing and with Italian backing by an English director.
But we needed the time because the script never quite worked, and it was a big transition going from a kids' piece to a more adult piece.
I feel very grateful because it was actually the thing that allowed us to start.
Today I look at the TV and I see a show with Duke Ellington, and my heart is, you know, wow. And after I want the piano.
How old were you? 4
Pedro Almodovar's films couldn't be more Spanish. They deal with things like bullfighters and a crazy Madrid housewives and all sorts of things that are intrinsically Madrid or Spain. And yet he has a big worldwide audience for those films. But he makes no concession to America or Britain or Australia or anywhere else. They are very, very much Spanish movies.
Tengo miedo del encuentro con el pasado que vuelve a enfrentarse con mi vida.
It's no coincidence that Ken Loach and Mike Leigh are so successful in France, because their films are of a British nature, a strong British nature. And I think that's what our commitment should be as filmmakers, is not to try and make concessions to Europe, but to make what we believe is true to us.
Now, you're under no obligation, but you can if you want to give me a lovely big smile. Thank you.
You've been sitting there for a month with a face like a slapped horse.
You complaining? No? Well, shut up then.
Oh, yeah. That's good.
International audiences do have a sense of humour, when the humour is about life as we really live it. And I think the humour is also why my films travel.
It's always important that faced with the attempt to dominate cinema, that it always comes from the United States, that we protect European films. And the media programme is obviously very important in doing this.
I would like to make an English film now, an American film, but with the same freedom I can have in France, because the word freedom is so important. And in France, when I make a film, I have the complete freedom. Nobody has to explain to me nothing. It's the complete freedom. It's so good and so important.
And it's very important that the politicians recognise that, that they increase the support for the media programme, that they cherish European culture, that they don't let it sink or swim in the market economy, but actually preserve it with economic support. They have to do that for us just to stay where we are. If they withdraw in any way, then we shall start to sink in comparison to the American products.
Thank you to the media programme and happy birthday.
Happy birthday, media.
Happy birthday, media.
Happy birthday, media program.
Okay, congratulations on your 20 years of existence, and let's hope you're existing for another 20 years, because that's about as long as I've probably got left to make films. So happy birthday, media.